Nate, do it.
I tried to knock him in. I tried to be nice.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, come on, man. Our countries
Rebound.
aren't enemies anymore.
You sure about that?
Look at the Colts.
Colts, no! We will now take you back to a time more simple. Actually, no, wait, this wasn't simple. This is 2001, man. A lot of
9/11.
Oh, for God's sakes! I was gonna make a reference to that. I was gonna say, dude, you should be a politician.
Yeah. Speaking of political statements, this is not one of them, but it is a funny joke that trails off of the 9/11 statement. Have you seen the fucking roast of where the dude says the Pete Davidson's dad joke?
I did, yes.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look.
Jeff Ross went full sav.
Pete Davidson's dad joke.
I remember that.
I saw it for the first time.
Well, for those of you who do not know, Pete Davidson's father unfortunately passed away
as a
firefighter during 9/11, and then all of a sudden, years later, even he makes light of it. He makes
a lot of jokes about it because, I mean, dear God, what's he supposed to do? Have a goddamn convulsion, just break down over it all the time?
Yeah, it's not the best thing. Like everyone handles grief differently. You have to read the room. You have to read how a person handles something. And if Pete Davidson finds something funny that has to do with 9/11, even though 9/11 is a pretty tragic day for him emotionally, that's his way of dealing with it. I mean, everyone's different, guys. Everyone, like, for instance, me. Like, there are people out there who, you take a jab at their weight or anything like that, all of a sudden they put on a cold shower and go have a cry in the corner. But I'm just like, more to love, bitch. What's there about it?
And, that was part of the humor and kind of lifestyle of 2001. Like,
it was.
Blink 182 and, like, skateboarding culture and stuff.
Dude.
It was all meat jokes and, like, bragging on each other about weight or about my
just
big
like
ears, or
you just keep hacking on each other,
and you would make fun of yourself. Like, that self-depreciating kind of style was really big when we were growing up, and now it seems to be more of a lost art. Like, well, I should have more respect for myself than that, and I'm not going to take that.
If you take yourself way too seriously, dude, you're going to have a really bad time in life.
Really actually,
because
outside of you gives a fuck.
Exactly. And that's the other thing as well, dude. I mean, I try my hardest to, respect others, give that initial respect or anything like that. And I don't try to get too hard, too hard or anything like that when I first meet them. But after a while, we're talking to each other, and then eventually, we start hurling jokes at one another and stuff like that. And if I see stuff that works, I go with that. If I see stuff that doesn't work, I leave it behind. It's all part of the growing process. And if you expect everyone to just come out the gate, be perfect, be nice, be everything like that, I hate to break it to you, the world's not nice. And people, they're not nice either. Most people out there, they put this stuff on, like, I care. Look, I made my social media profile picture black for a week. That means I care.
That's the fake stuff. I've noticed that people who talk the most shit and have the filthiest mouths are the good people. Yes. They're the chillest people. Like, they're some of the people who have given me the most shit are the ones who I love, and, like, I know only feel comfortable saying that kind of shit to me and everything because they love and actually respect me.
Yes.
And know that it's a joke. Like, it's not venomous, and you can tell.
No. And
sometimes there's those toxic people that talk down to you and try to jab you to keep you down and let you know your place.
Yeah, keep you under their thumb. No. You see, it's people who grow together. People who aren't afraid to talk to each other about the real shit.
Yeah. And, since it's 2001 era shit.
Oh my God! And South Park was still on. South Park is still been on.
Yeah.
Because it came out in '98.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Yeah. Dunkaroos, baby, Dunkaroos! I can't believe it, dude.
Pop the cap.
Popping them.
Here we go.
Hold on. Let me get mine. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything better that could go with the Scott the Woz video.
Hell yeah, bro.
Dunkaroos.
The Dunkaroos. Oh my gosh. So, we got our Dunkaroos. I'm currently in the mindset of 2001 again.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead. We get this up on screen. And let's give this a watch. Here we go. This is E3 2001, Scott the Woz.
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Hi, Scott.
So, it's about that time. Let's have the talk.
Let's talk about birds, bees, hell, even sex.
I've gone across the country teaching the proper education professionally, and I've learned it all from this here book. So, let's start with chapter 1,
Sex,
Luigi's
baby.
Mansion.
Let's talk about you and me.
Luigi's Mansion.
I gotta make some calls.
It's finally that time of the year. E3 2001 occurred from May 17th to the 19th in 2001 at the Los Angeles Convention Center, as any E3 2001 would. And this year for gaming as a whole had some of the most iconic releases of all time. Massive
shit,
console
Grand Theft
launches like
Auto
the
3.
GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Xbox. The PlayStation 2 was still in its first year on the market, and Sega finally did the right thing. Give up! Every couple of years, we hit one in the industry where everything happens. All the games released, new consoles launch, and the only year that I think even remotely matches 2001 would be 2013. But even then, I think overall, 2001 may have been the biggest year for video games of all time.
God, Scott, stop sucking the year off.
Well, let's dive into what occurred at
fucking
E3
deal.
2001, and as per usual, we'll be rating each major company's presence at the show on a scale of 1 to 5 meat slaps. Let's start with a company that needs no introduction. The final few years of the Nintendo 64, well, they sure were years. We did get some amazing games during this time.
Hell
but
yeah.
They were going up against the launch of the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 alongside all the titles coming out for the 10 times as popular PlayStation 1. Dr. Mario 64, brace yourselves, wasn't gonna cut it. And looking back at the history of E3s, the past few years really felt like Nintendo was spinning their wheels. While other companies were pushing forward with new tech, and Nintendo was saying, "No, we have a new console." Alright, can we see it?
You can see Mario Party 3.
The 64 was just kind of in existence for a while now, but E3 2001 was Nintendo's first E3 show for not only the GameCube, but the Game Boy Advance as well. Yeah, read off that
was
spiral
both-
notebook.
both
This isn't a
swinging.
press conference, it's a book report. We're still in that era of
People
press
shit on the
conferences where press
GameCube,
conferences
though.
were...
Back then, it was like the lame console that like
course.
kids had.
Yeah, it's just like, you see how small the discs are? They're like little kid discs.
Like I remember, I was pretty poor growing up, and I didn't have that generation console at the time. I really wanted a PS2, but at I think it was KB Toys or some store had a sale on the fucking GameCube. It hit $99.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was when, the PlayStation 2 was still easy $200.
Easily, man.
And so I was just like, fuck it, man. You guys, I know you're fucking broke. I know. But you have got to get me one of these goddamn GameCubes while they're this price. And they did, and it had like the Ocarina of Time disc that came with it.
It was a repackage. It wasn't a full remake. They just made it to where it could work on a GameCube.
Exactly. And it had like the Master Quest or whatever.
Yeah. Dude.
But I had no memory card, so
You just had to play it and then start all over again.
whatever.
Yeah. God, dude.
Yeah, good shit, man. But yeah, people hated on the GameCube hard when it first came out.
I remember when I first got it, I'd saved up money. I'd saved up birthday money because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I saved up my birthday money. I had it like stored away in a little jar, and I like collected coins here and there. And I got all of my pennies rolled up. You remember penny rolls?
Oh yeah.
God, dude, I had so many of those. The change jar I had them like stacked up in the bottom of it. That fucker was so heavy when I carried it into the bank to cash them all in. And I think it was like $15 short. And my mom slid me like a 20 across the table, and I was just like, I just ran over and gave her a big hug, and she was just like, "It's okay, go ahead." And I remembered I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I got a GameCube," and I don't remember if it came packaged with any games or not, but I do remember the first game that I played was Luigi's Mansion. Oh yeah, and it was because I was a Luigi fanboy back in the day, dude.
Well, he's hilarious.
Still am a Luigi
Luigi's
fanboy.
definitely funnier than Mario, in my opinion.
Yes, he is. And in all honesty,
Mario's pretty basic,
he is.
but I like Mario a lot.
He's one of the greatest video game protagonists of all time, dude.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a Luigi head, and I wanted to see a real, actual Luigi game that was good because I played Mario as missing. I got cheated by Mario as missing. I want to play a game where you can play as Luigi. I don't want to play an educational game where you. I hated it. I hated it.
I'm not
friggin'
even
much.
stand near that heat.
You don't want to take my word for it. Take Gerard's word for it. The completionist, he ripped that game a new one.
I'll leave that to you.
I met him at a convention, and he told me about him doing that review, and I was just like, Gerard, that's going to be like a slow drive through hell, man. And he's just like, I know. I know. And I'm like, hey, best of luck to you, man. Hope you're able to beat it. And he's like, oh, I'll beat it.
He picked his own poison. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, and Gerard's a sweetheart, dude. Gerard, I've met him in person. He is an absolute sweetheart. And, him and Alex both. Alex is a bit more of like an edgy kind of guy, but him and Gerard balance each other out really well. But anyway, let's get back to this.
WordPress conferences, damn it. For some reason going on about how the GameCube has a shot against the competition via graphs. Well, this graph would have more value if you show me the games that would give it a shot against the competition. This conference had the theme of the Nintendo difference. What are you, a brand of paper towels? No, according to Nintendo, the Nintendo difference is this.
An absolute fetish for quality.
Hey guy, what's your fetish? Well, quality, quantity, the pursuit of happiness, ass and chips. Satoru Iwata comes on stage just a year before he became president of Nintendo, discussing how games all look the same and really leans into the Nintendo difference. Now, over on Nintendo, in comparison, it's all about innovation and quality. They released this a month prior. Miyamoto comes out on stage and holy shit, he's one hand in that bitch. Bill Trennan accompanies them for translation and introduces the first game with the concept of trying to figure out what characters to bring to GameCube first.
Yes! That trailer alone sparked so much love and interest in the new Super Smash Brothers. Melee,
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit.
It's a hell of a game, dude.
Yeah!
Is it still considered like the game for tournaments?
Yes.
Technicality. Super Smash Bros. Melee revealed to the world with the opening cutscene and a short overview of the characters. They don't spend long on it, considering you get the general idea of what this is by reading the title. Melee's reveal will forever be one of the best E3 moments, as you can tell just how giddy and excited the audience is. Watching it now is like opening a time capsule, and whenever Samus appeared, everybody roared, since this was during a large gap between Metroid games. Zelda and Sheik were given a huge applause compared to the one guy recognizing ice climbers. Scientists studied this man afterwards. How does one man remember that much ice climber? Melee was the Smash Bros. Series transition from a fun party fighter to a massive gaming event. The bombastic orchestral music, gorgeous graphical upgrade, iconic characters paired up with those who haven't seen the light of day in ages. Melee's reveal was the perfect introduction to GameCube, and also showed this console was hopeless. You practically launch a system with a game that invokes this kind of reaction and it gets third place. This marked a change in consoles. It was no longer enough to have the best exclusive games. You had to have multimedia features or a gimmick, and the GameCube had a calendar.
And now the age of gimmicks from like 2000, from 2000 to like 2015. You remember that's when like the Wii because the first generation Nintendo got the shit slapped out of them because they didn't have DVD compatibility. They had like the Game Boy player and stuff like that.
First generation.
No, not the first gen. No, the second generation. Say what?
It was like for the console wars.
Oh, this was hold on. Hold the phone. Let me double check that.
PlayStation was the first generation that the console wars happened.
No, because Sega and Nintendo, remember? The Genesis and the Super Nintendo? Let's see. Console generation.
I know that.
Here we are. Console
companies
generation.
competing, but I didn't know when like that time in history started.
Okay. Okay, so right now we were in the sixth generation. So the sixth generation had the Dreamcast, the GameCube, the Xbox, and the PlayStation. And then in the generation after, you had the Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. Now, here's the thing. Sixth generation, it was like right here, these two had a gimmick that Nintendo didn't. DVD player.
Yeah.
And that was one reason why my parents opted to get a PlayStation 2 because it
Everybody
could
I
play.
knew
It
did
could,
because of that.
yeah. And then later on, here with the 7th generation, the gimmicks became even stronger, especially with Nintendo, with the Wii mode, the nunchuck, with the zapper, and all those other peripherals. And it took off. And the Nintendo Wii won that generation. And then the Wii U happened. And I know, Scott, I know that you love the Wii U, but, bro, it was a major oof moment for Nintendo.
Well, I mean, the GameCube was too.
Well, here's the thing.
was.
I hope, yeah, I know Scott hopes this too, that eventually the Wii U is looked back on with the same brevity of the GameCube. Yeah. I don't think it will be because of how quickly they pulled it off the shelf, but I do think that the GameCube over time has gotten even more love now.
Oh no! It to me, the GameCube never started getting the respect it deserved till like 2014, 2012, 2014, when I started hearing people talk about like, oh man, this. I was like, yeah, man, I kind of got that forced on me, but I recognized pretty short on that the exclusive games for the GameCube were pretty damn good.
Oh, top notch, dude. The Pikmin series, Super Smash Brothers, Luigi's Mansion. I mean, dude, they killed it.
I would go and rent games and stuff. I'd be like, holy shit.
This is good.
Yeah.
First party, well, say what you will about Nintendo, their first party support, always great. Always.
Yes.
Now, here recently, they've worked on their third party support and have gotten better. They have gotten a lot better. Like, the Switch is so much easier to program than the GameCube and the Wii. But now, yeah, because anyway, as time has gone on, Nintendo has opened their doors more and more to third-party support, which I think is one reason why the Switch has done as well as it has. Also, the fact that it literally combined both aspects of the consoles that are at this E3 2001 with the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance. Literally a handheld home console. That, like, and now the new Steam Deck coming out. That thing, oh my gosh. That thing looks amazing.
I want one.
I already pre-ordered one.
I've got to get one.
I pre-ordered the mid-grade model.
It'll be something to behold, I'm sure.
Oh, I've seen Linus from Linus Tech Tips did a test on it, and he was just like, most games on here, they have like settings modes where you put it in like optimized mode, and you're able to run the games like 40 at HD or 720p at 60 FPS. Yeah. No problem. Now, the problem is whenever you take it off of optimized mode and you try and do like custom settings like ultra on everything in Doom Eternal, you're not going to get 60 FPS like fluidly throughout. Yeah. You're going to have dips. But again, there's a lot with the Steam Deck that hasn't been revealed yet. And I'm anticipating that they're going to have a home deck for you to like have a graphics card where you can plug in and play off of that. It'll pretty much be like a mobile computer. Yeah. Which that's what we need, guys. We need that.
A laptop for gaming. That's
absolutely, man. Jesus. I like laptops, but dude, just carrying it around and all that versus I know it'll, and plus, playing on it, you can walk around playing on a Steam Deck. You can't do that with, what are you going to do? Get like a lap mount or like an arm mount? You like
the what was it on Yu-Gi-Oh? The little fucking gimmick.
Yeah, the little wrist thing. Yeah. God, man.
After Smash, we get a look at what's called the next in the Mario series.
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, the next in the Mario series. So I like Luigi's Mansion, but the way it was shown here felt more like a joke. And I think a lot of critics had this feeling towards Luigi's Mansion when it first launched. The stigma that it was lame as shit. You're not getting a Mario platformer at launch, you're getting his drippy-nosed brother with a shop vac. As time went on, I think everybody's come to appreciate this game a whole lot more. But in E3 2001, the main thing Nintendo pushed with it was how it utilized the GameCube's capabilities. They showed off the controller, which the Wavebird has a different button layout from the wired one. Why do that? The game discs, which Nintendo bragged about being severely anti-piracy as a selling point.
Here's our product, and the best part about it is you can steal it.
The GameCube startup
Except
is
they
shown prior
did.
to the demo and gets applause.
Pretty well, actually.
And we get a demo.
Yeah, it was actually like, again, DRM is something that Nintendo struggled with, and I'm glad over time they've effectively, I remember they went after the ROM sites hard
over
the last few years, but now it seems like they've cooled towards it. They're just like, well,
they took down the mega ones that were just like, holla if you need it. Guess what we got? We got everybody's games.
Yeah.
Like those sites got the axe.
Yeah, hard.
They were out here. Hey, I heard you were interested in Nintendo products.
Would you like
some Nintendo products?
You want to buy some drugs?
For free?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to buy some games?
Yeah. You want to get us some ad space sold on our site?
Yeah, there you go.
They got
demo for Luigi's Mansion, which again was created to show off the GameCube's capabilities. Dual analog control along with tons of elemental effects. It was impressive, no doubt, but the fact it wasn't a Mario game and was a Luigi game just made it kind of lame for many. It's pretty shallow that various people thought that way, but that's what the general consensus was at the time. And the way they showed it off here, well, fine. I think undersold the game quite a bit, even if it looked very graphically impressive. Interestingly, they state right after the demo how the Game Boy Advance can be used as a GameCube controller, but the way they talked about it implied it would work with Luigi's Mansion, which would have made sense. I mean, you have the Game Boy Horror in the game, to have a map screen on the Game Boy screen at all times would have been handy. But no, they just move on to more graphs and spec talk, which is very unlike Nintendo. What is like Nintendo is to show us something we can't have. The Panasonic Q, the Japanese-only GameCube with a DVD player, was shown here for spice. They just kind of show it like this is for the Japanese market, so I don't think they ever really had plans to bring it over here. But they also had it on display at the E3 2001 show floor. If I had to guess, even if they were never going to sell it in the US, just having a GameCube with DVD playing capabilities at the show would be enough for people to think the GameCube was actually worth a damn. Yeah, you can play DVDs on it, you just need to be able to deadlift 400 pounds.
He's got one, you son of a bitch.
Damn it, Scott!
I've been looking for
He's on it, you just
look at that thing.
I know, he's fucking got one. God
damn it, Scott.
Need to be able to deadlift 400 pounds. Some developers are shown in a video talking about the GameCube, namely Silicon
Eternal
Knights,
Darkness,
Rare, and Retro Studios, all showing off games that were barely real. Retro had Raven Blade!
Yeah, sure, honey, I'm on the phone.
Rare had Cameo and Donkey Kong Racing, but titles like Metroid Prime, Eternal Darkness, and Star Fox Adventures were displayed, with Star Fox Adventures having the subtitle of Dinosaur Planet. This is awesome to see in the context of an actual press conference. For so long, I've only known of the origins of Star Fox Adventures through articles or random trailers, but actually seeing it alongside Donkey Kong Racing and Raven Blade at E3 shows, it's pretty wild and gives a much better idea as to how these games were positioned back then. Next up, we have a brand new game from Nintendo. Pikmin! What the hell was that? Nintendo announced Pikmin as their next Pokemon in the sense that it may not make sense now, but just you wait.
Give it some time.
A quick demo is shown, and Miyamoto says that he got the idea of Pikmin from gardening.
You're selling a console!
The GameCube is set to launch on November 5th in North America, September 14th in Japan, and 2002 in Europe to the audible disappointment of the audience.
Liar!
It actually ended up launching on the 18th in North America, but I'll let this one slide due to the scissor reel at the end. Star Wars Rogue Leader, Raven Blade, Wave Race BS, NBA Courtside 2002, Donkey Kong Racing, Animal Force for GameCube. Interestingly, they announced this a month after the game launched on the Nintendo 64 in Japan. Metroid Prime, Mario Kart for GameCube, just using Smash Brothers character models and go-karts. Mickey for GameCube.
All right, the delay was worth it.
Ending things on that infamous Zelda for GameCube demo, showing a realistic Link and Ganondorf fighting. To which 1 year later, we got a puppet show instead. Why wasn't any of...
Eventually, we got Twilight Princess, which is a great game.
Yes.
this sprinkled throughout the press conference. Instead, we got...
Did you know the GameCube is going to do well?
Well, if you showed me Mickey for GameCube earlier, that wouldn't be a question. There's quite a lot to like about this showing, though interesting to note, Nintendo barely talked about the Game Boy Advance. For that, you'd have to check out the show floor. This giant screen saying, fun fact, to ensure innovation, we employ the strongest and most successful exclusive game development resources in the world.
That's not a fact, that's just smug.
I love this rotating actual GameCube logo, and the Game Boy Advance demo unit showing games like Mario Kart Super Circuit, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, Wario Land 4. This was a damn good show. Though their presentation seems better on paper because when you actually watch it...
And more innovation will be on display when our Space World exhibition
brings me right back to economics class. It may have felt like there were a lot of games, but it was primarily just Smash Brothers, Luigi's Mansion, and Pikmin. Everything else was just sort of thrown in a scissor reel. They still did a good job impressing, and that's more evident by taking a look at the show floor, though Nintendo just didn't show much that clawed people away from the PlayStation 2, unfortunately. Yeah, Smash Brothers looked amazing, but did that make up for the relative lack of third-party support? To some, yeah, and I think something big Nintendo proved this E3
but
was
in
a
the long
massive
run,
change
no.
to their software output. That
I
slowed
just
down
hated
to
the controller
a
for the
crawl
most
on
part.
Nintendo 64, but with
That
the
was
GameCube,
the thing that really
they showed off
bothered
a
me.
ton of exclusive games in development.
I hated it at first, but eventually it grew on me.
It was just how
like a
easy,
cancerous mass. It grew on me.
It was how easy it was to fuck up the C stick.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really screwed me over. Because like I said, I was a broke motherfucker back then, and I couldn't replace controllers like that.
Yeah.
And that C stick would. You think that the drift on the fucking Switch is bad? Oh.
Yeah.
You could break that C stick without even trying.
Yeah, I did it twice, and unfortunately both times I was able to pop the cat back in, but
Most of which came out within the first year or two. Nintendo in 2001, keep it up. Well, let's take a breather.
4 knee slaps.
E3 2001 memorabilia. These Activision 02 hats were given out.
Oh.
Activision 02 was a sub-brand they used for their sports games.
Because sports require oxygen.
Well,
yeah.
that was fun. Let's move on to Sony. Let's see how good boy PlayStation did this year. They have the best-selling console of all time. Again, so why even try? Well, Kaz arrived. Just stepped off the golf course. It's crazy to see these iconic Sony executives there.
Oh my
so
gosh.
long ago. Jack Tretton, Andrew House, the King's all here, which
Wow,
means the first
man.
announcement must be big.
First, we will debut a DVD wireless remote.
I stand corrected. Fucking huge.
Gran Turismo 3 gets a trailer, even though it's already been out in Japan. Jak and Daxter gets a trailer and demo, being the big holiday title for the PS2 that year, being poised as the PlayStation 2's
A great
Crash
game,
Bandicoot.
by the
But who
way.
gives a shit when the PS1 LCD screen is announced?
It says right here.
The PS1 is still a lucrative piece of Sony's business. Well, the show is all about PS2. They still intended on giving their first console some proper support. Sony's done that with all of their consoles. Even when the PS4 came out, they released Gran Turismo 6 exclusively on the PS3 a month later. They highlight that Square will remain exclusive to PlayStation consoles for the time being, which showcased how powerful this partnership was at the time. But with all this power and having the most successful console out at the time, that meant 10 minutes of EA Sports. Wow, Madden 2002 on the PlayStation 2, these
Be honest though, Madden back then
This is when they were
was top.
dominating. And this Madden,
2001
when it
to
was a switch
2005.
to the new generation's console, Madden, like this changed. This is when Madden blew fucking up.
Yeah, 2001 to 2005, Madden just exploded. And then 06 through 09 was sort of a middling year. And then after that, I just stopped caring. Like 2010 and on,
It was a boom period
you
for
couldn't
the NFL too.
You couldn't really get me interested in Madden after that. These were the games I played, and I loved it. I loved the feel. To me, it wasn't like a full sports simulator. It also sort of had that offshoot of NFL Blitz a little bit. With the hit stick especially, dude.
and like RPG elements
yeah, dude.
with like storylines, and you could add stats and stuff to your characters and add badges. Like a lot of people who just aren't into sports games don't understand that a lot of sports games are RPGs in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, you-
Let me make sure you're. Oh yeah, your mic's on. I just wouldn't. I
Yeah.
forgot that that's the one that's got the switch on it.
Yeah, but like
Sorry.
you can play it like a role-playing game.
You can.
Yeah.
And that's one part of the beauty of it. You can play the game any way you want to. You want to lay down huge hits as Ray Lewis? Go right ahead. You want to spin people out of their shoes as Barry Sanders if you create him in the create a character thing.
No, I did back in the day. Before
You
they
did?
had like the retro teams.
Yeah, dude. Dude,
Or the retro teams would just be somebody's number.
Yeah.
They didn't have the license to put the old school guy in the game.
God, dude.
Yeah, I used to make Barry Sanders for sure.
That sons of bitches finally did it! If this was the first Madden on PS2 or on this generation of game systems in general, I'd understand a gameplay demo for the conference. Final Fantasy X is shown. Like, my god, can you believe how fast they were pumping these games out at the time? Final Fantasy was practically a yearly series at this point. 7, 8, and 9 coming out one after another made some sense with them all being on the same console, but 10 was for the PlayStation 2 and still released just a year after 9. They show a movie trailer for Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Then we dive into some other big PS2 exclusives. A long speech about Devil May Cry. Then on to Silent Hill 2. And finally, a trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2, which was pretty much E3's darling game at this point. Grabbing everybody's attention, this was the killer app for the time. They end things off with some accessories. A PS2 network adapter and hard drive, along with an LCD screen, keyboard, and mouse for...
Who did this?
I have never seen the PlayStation 2 marketed as a straight-up desktop PC. They say this is for email.
This!
They also show a bit of soak.
Saddam Hussein
I remember that.
bought a shit ton of these when they came out and used it for like his guided missile systems or something like that.
I remember there was actually controversy about
Yeah,
that.
it was a big deal.
And eventually, like, Sony had to just be like, no, they're not capable of being used like that. And yeah, like all that money that Saddam Hussein spent got wasted. And then, of course, you know, can't stop the panic in the U.S. from blowing up. Oh, and then not only that, did you know that there was a man in the U.K. who loved his PlayStation 2 so much, he tried to marry it. Legally marry his PlayStation 2. And when the law stated no, you are not allowed to marry an inanimate object.
Did they stay together? Are they still together?
He did one better. You know what he did? Instead of being able to marry his PlayStation 2, he changed his legal name to PlayStation 2.
Proud of him.
Yeah, that man's a true gamer.
Not all heroes wear capes,
No,
but they're probably on psych meds.
some instead want to stick their dick in a PlayStation 2.
Kind of
That's
to
why
push
my
the
disk
online
drive was
capabilities of the
always
console.
fucked.
With the Xbox looming over, that was smart to do considering that system was far ahead of the PS2 in terms of internet connectivity. Yeah, you know, Sony did have some of the biggest names on their side. Just looking at their booth, it's quite obvious not only did they have the biggest names, they had all the names. The amount of games on display for PS2 was
DDR.
staggering. And while Nintendo gave you a reason to check out their stuff, Sony gave you a reason to buy their stuff. The
Kinetics,
PS2
I remember
obviously
that.
had a
I own that.
tremendous future in front of it. Who were even talking about streaming
Broadband.
HD movies to the console? This, I may be a Nintendo, we'll say fan, and while E3 2001 had a lot to make me happy, it was also obvious who was going to truly win this generation. Let's return to E3 memorabilia. Here we have an E3 2001 program giving out on the second day of the event. It's designed as if it's a magazine, featuring advertisements that look ripped right out of one, except they're actively begging you to check their booth at E3 out.
Oh man, the
This
Spider-Man
is
game.
That was
absolutely
such a good one,
fascinating.
man.
Reading articles detailing the announcement of Kingdom
There it
Hearts,
is!
which, debuted here.
Oh.
A match made in gamer heaven. If only. Articles detailing Xbox and Nintendo's booths, giving attendees the motivation to keep it up. What other companies have brought to the show, whether it's games, hardware, accessories. There's interviews, conference schedules, maps, the Mario Awards. Nintendo of America would award their retail partners with Mario Awards based on categories like their catalog, magazine, promotions, in-store flyers.
Oh my
That gave
gosh.
good motivation to advertise Nintendo. See, we could put the PlayStation there, but we're neck and neck with Sears here. Do Wario. Hell, even advertisements for DVD scratch removal machines are here. This entire thing feels like I'm where I don't belong. Shuttle services and food options. Namco is outright begging for applicants. This is an awesome piece of E3 history that truly does give you the feeling of actually being there. It's a little big, though. But what's this? Xbox? Who's that? While Microsoft had a presence at E3 2000, 2001 was the year of the system's launch and gave us a much better idea of what we could expect. The console's design was finalized, making it much more consumer-friendly. Come on, that's a choking hazard. In a little
Still looks badass.
Dude, I remember that. I remember that
console's design
prototype.
was finalized, making it much more consumer-friendly. Come on,
I remember seeing that, and I was just like, dude,
I want that.
I want that too. I want. You know what? You know what I want to do? I want to get that and make that into a piece and make that into a PC. I want to make that into. I want to make a PC case out of that, man.
It would probably be worth too much to fuck with like that. I would fabricate that. Just make your own off the design.
I would, but at the same time, dude, to have an OG one like that, to be able to do that,
I bet you that's worth.
That's easily worth thousands and thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
I guarantee it.
Damn.
If
That's beautiful, though.
depending on how many there are. I mean, if there's only like 4 or 5 of them, it could be hundreds.
Yeah,
of
hundreds.
dollars.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what if there's only one prototype like that in the world and it's at Microsoft's official office?
That's
Damn.
a choking hazard. And a little game called Halo, which was shown last year, went from a third-person game for PC and Mac to a first-person shooter launching exclusively with Xbox. This was always the go-to game for Xbox.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it was a pretty mediocre show for them. They were still in the peach fuzz era of understanding gaming. They got it much more than other companies did, but this was their first console, so the hiccups were to be expected. However, going against Nintendo and Sony, Microsoft had a few technical problems during their conference and not nearly as many games on display. They had Dead or Alive 3 as an exclusive for launch alongside Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Racing games like Project Gotham and NASCAR Heat impressed, but Microsoft's booth was half Xbox and half PC gaming. The launch date of November 8th, 2001 for North America was announced.
The Duke. The Duke. The big motherfucker.
Liar! November 15th. And a launch in Japan would occur before Europe, which many people already knew was a mistake. The Xbox
Yes.
has famously never done well in Japan. Many knew the Japanese market wouldn't take to Xbox, but Microsoft sure wanted them to, considering modern gaming was practically born in Japan. But all this did was waste Microsoft's time by launching in Japan before Europe and piss off customers in Europe because they had to wait longer. All for a retail price of $299, which was fairly expensive, though with the Xbox being the most powerful of the main 3 consoles and with Halo as the killer app, it sufficed.
Also with a internal hard drive, where you did not have to get a memory card or anything like that to save your game process.
And hold on, Morrowind.
Boom!
Holy fuck.
This dude is an Elder Scrolls head over here. As a matter of fact, you shared a meme on your channel not too long ago saying, it's like, when I haven't played Skyrim for like 3 months, I think I'm quite ready for another adventure.
The Switch keeps going, you bought Skyrim on here. It's a good idea.
And you just
Then
want to
I
pick
play
up your
it.
Switch. You're just like, shut the fuck up. It's like, don't tempt me.
Hey Chad, don't you want to play a sneaky elf that uses ranged weapons again?
No.
Too bad.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. God. But, dude, the Xbox operated on a deficit. Did you know that? When they first launched, they operated on a deficit just to get themselves into the gaming market, knowing full well that with their second console or a revision of their first console, they could make their money back. And lo and behold, when the Xbox 360 came out and it launched before the PlayStation 3... Now, don't get me wrong, the Xbox had its issues, console failures and the red ring of death, which, oy vey, I had that happen to me on one. It happened to me on one, I sent it in, they fixed it, I got it back, and I used it all the way up until I dropped it down a stairwell and fucked it up.
There have been disk drive issues with the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3.
There have
the
been.
PlayStation 4.
Well, and here's
I
the
haven't heard
thing.
anything about the PS5.
No, the
If we're gonna
PS5
talk about issues.
Yeah, the PS5 so far, I mean, we've had no issues out of ours, mine and Nick's.
How many times has there been disk read errors with PlayStation consoles? Always.
Dude,
Always.
a terrifying amount. But overall, though,
Every console
has issues, and don't get me wrong, Xbox has had their fair share, but they fixed it for the most part with their first revision, the Xbox, the glossy black one.
Oh, the Elite?
The one right there, the one I got. And I love that console. Hell, I still got my OG, I still got it right here. Check this shit. Still got it with my Gears of War 3 sticker on the front of it.
Hell yeah.
Like a true fucking nerd. Oh, and not only that, Bazow!
Yeah.
Check it.
The big chunk.
The chunky boy. And
Heavy as fuck.
that's pretty heavy. It's not bad. And then, of course, Whoa, Black Betty. Bam, bam.
Amber Lab.
Damn it, I knew what you were going to do. I knew it. As soon as I said it, I'm like, he's going to, and then as soon as I thought about it, he did it.
I have to. Every time.
So, yeah. Needless to say, we're gamers in this house, and we enjoy what we do. Anyway, so let's get back to this.
It's pretty clear. Without Halo, this would have been a pretty weak showing. But Microsoft came out swinging with one of the most iconic launch titles of all time. That's got to count for something. Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah, there was quite a lot more to this E3 than just what the Big 3 brought to the table. Namely, Rockstar brought the Big 3. I even have the final part of E3 2001 memorabilia, the sticker they gave out. Take a look at that. Okay. Duke Nukem Forever made another appearance, this time looking quite a bit different from the last time we saw it. This one showcasing how truly expansive the game was going to be. Look at all these environments, characters, things that do epic music. None of it ever happened! Sega was everywhere this year, making deals all over the place with the announcement that Dreamcast would be fizzling and Sega as a company would become a third party. Each console manufacturer made a deal to get a certain Sega franchise on it exclusively, most notably Sonic on Nintendo. The sheer amount of massive industry-defining games
there we
come out
go.
of this E3 is unprecedented.
Jet Set Radio!
5 years felt like growing pains, but E3 2001 it truly does feel like where E3 became E3 from there on out.
Wait a second. No, I'm just confused.
Damn.
Wow.
Dude. Leave it to friggin' Xbox, dude. Leave it to friggin' Xbox to, come out swinging with Halo and then, operate on a deficit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
And not give a fuck.
No, because, they were the rich... at that time, I think they were the richest company in the world. Because Apple still had... Because here's the thing. Apple still hadn't taken over, and at that point...
The iPod wasn't really what the iPod became, which is the iPhone,
Yeah.
It was...
When did the iPod first come out?
It was a...
2001, dude.
Yeah.
October 23rd, 2001.
It was about to happen, but...
And then, they had the MacBooks and, the Mac OSs.
There was some kind of thing that they had, the... God damn it. I can't remember. But, they were inching towards something like what they came out with the iPod before the iPod actually came out.
Yes.
And when it did, it went from being just a little novelty extra thing to being their thing that really took over.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, everything changed about Apple for me.
Well, and also phones changed as well. You remember back when flip phones were the big thing? And I remember the joke was, oh, these phones are going to get so small that you're going to lose them. And I remember do you remember in Zoolander, he had his little hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as soon as media consumption, as soon as people were able to watch videos on their phone, screens kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Hey, look, everyone.
Well, it was the iPod that did that.
Yeah. The iPod had
the most popular one that you could put your movies on and all that shit.
Dude.
And then that became the iPod Touch, which became the iPhone.
And eventually Apple just took over the world. And they outsold Microsoft. I remember back in 98, I've probably told the story before. My dad had the opportunity to buy Apple stock back when it was $5 a share. My dad wanted to spend they were trying to talk my dad into spending about half of his retirement, which was about $15,000 to $20,000 on Apple stock. So, Apple stock back then was $5 a share, and if my dad would have bought $15,000 worth of that, he would have had, $15,000. He would have had 3,000 shares in Apple stock. Now, what is Apple trading for nowadays? There we are. Let's see. Well, let's see. I don't know how much it would go up, but Apple stock right now is 151, but it's diversified over time. But still, let's see, 3,000 was 151. My dad would have, just on Ross Apple stock alone, would have had over $500,000 right now.
It's insane.
Yeah. So we did the estimates, and my dad would have been a millionaire by now if he would have invested. If he would have taken the advice and invested back then, my dad would have been a millionaire.
Well, that's the thing in Forrest Gump too, right? He
invested
in Apple stock.
But here's the thing: he invested in Apple early when the Apple's original boom with the Apple II. But then when Apple stock started going down and they developed no new products, which that's one thing I will agree with Steve Jobs. They developed no new products. Although, hey Steve, you did kind of steal the iPad idea from the Newton. You know, the thing that happened without you there. But yet he killed it because he wanted to have his stamp on history. I'm the one that came up with everything. I'm the one that came. It's it's very easy to walk into a room full of developers and be like, hey, you know what I want? I want to be able to have all my music on the little thing, on this little square, like the size of a food stamp. Make it happen. It's easy to do that.
Like the movie Cruella.
Yeah, it's easy to do that. It's I could walk in with all the money that I got and be like, hey, you know what I want? I want you to make me a console that will play this, this, and this, and I want you to make it right now. Make it happen. It's easy to do that, man. Everyone wants to laud Steve Jobs like he's this new age Jesus Christ, this new age tech Jesus Christ, when in truth, dude couldn't even program a computer. Dude didn't even know how to build a computer. All he knew how to do was draw, and he knew how to sell. I will give him credit on that. Uh-oh, we have an intruder.
What's up?
What's good? Uh-oh. What's up, Nick?
What's you boys watching?
Well, we just got finished watching Scott the Waz talking about E3 in 2001. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Got
Got some snooze in my mouth. Wouldn't mix very well.
Oh God.
Well,
That would be really bad.
that'd be Haggard. Well, we're gonna move on from this, everyone. This was Scott the Waz E3 2001. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. So I guess until then, I'm Nate.
I'm Chad.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.